Good morning, everyone. So, this video is going to get kind of personal for us, but we're going to try to explain. I'm not sure how long it'll be. It could be short, it could be long. I don't know yet. But we're going to try to break down and explain how we are surviving financially after battling, after Rusty battling with stage 4 cancer. And just so you know, Rusty was our main source of income. He always has been. He just makes more money than I do, and which has always been fine. He's always carried our insurance. He's carried the big, I pay the bills, so he doesn't know a lot about that, but that's always worked for us. And but he has been our main source of income. And once he was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, it wasn't long into his treatments, probably 4 weeks into his treatment, that he was forced to go on short-term disability. And in our minds, we didn't know anything about cancer, so in our minds, okay, he'll be doing 60 days worth of treatments, 60 or 90, I can't remember, worth of treatments, and then he'll just go back to work. Well, cancer, unfortunately, and not cancer so much, probably as much as the treatment for cancer, doesn't work like that. So after his short term ran out, his work, talked to him and told him he could go ahead and take an early retirement. And his doctors told him that because he had stage 4 cancer, that he would automatically qualify for disability. And so that's what we did. But let me kind of back up. We owned a gigantic house. The electric bill was very expensive in it because it was a huge house. Our youngest son wanted it. And so I'm trying to thaw some chicken for tonight. We're doing game night tonight. So let me get this one started. But now you may not be able to hear me. But anyways, so we sold our big house to our youngest son who wanted the house, and we didn't sell it to him we sold it to him for about 20% of what the value of it was. And that's because that was supposed to be his inheritance, and when we were gone, but we went ahead and sold it to him for about 20%, and that's only so we could get enough money to pay cash for this smaller house and with a much smaller electric bill. And yes, it's all very good now. So this is kind of where we're at. How we got to where we're at right now. Of course, we left our chicken barn behind at the other house. We left all of our fencing behind, so we're kind of having to start all over. And so financially, it's been a little bit of a burden, but we're actually managing quite well. So I'm going to ask everyone before we get too far into this, because a lot of people don't make it to the end of the videos. So I'm going to ask you right now. So please like, subscribe, thumbs up, comment, whatever you can do, hit that bell, whatever you can do. That helps us out so much. Okay, so there's where we're at. We sold our house. We have 80 acres here, so we built a new house on part of our land. Our oldest son that built this house for us, he's getting the land. That's what he wanted. Our youngest son just wanted nothing but the house. So, and with what land is worth, it was a pretty close to a, equal inheritance for both of them. So especially since Jeremy had to pay 20% of the house value so we could build this one, which he was perfectly fine with that. So so we built this house on the 80 acres that we already have. Our oldest son has the run of the property, but he knows we're using some of it here for us, and that we wanted the pond out front. And so he's been fine with that. It's working out really well. So we all live kind of in a little community here, very close, not real close together, maybe like a block apart from each other. But yeah, it works out really good. So Rusty's always had a real, not a fair job or whatever, that he made a fair amount of money. But because of his cancer, we had a pretty good savings going on. But when he got the cancer, we decided to buy a new truck. And so we spent our savings for that because we knew that financially we might not be in this position to make huge truck payments. Those can be pretty costly now. So we paid cash for our truck. We paid cash building this house. We have no house payment whatsoever, no truck payment whatsoever. And then we spent a lot of our savings to pay for his medical expenses, because even though he had a pretty good insurance, his out-of-pocket every year for the last 3 years was around $7,800. So, you know, that can put a pretty good dent into your savings too. But we've stayed on top of the medical bills. We paid cash for the truck. We paid cash for the house. So at this point, we have a few medical bills coming in for this year, but they're not bad, and I'm staying on top of those. But so far, we absolutely have no payments other than our normal internet, electric. We don't have water because we're on a well. We don't have trash because the company pays for that, and we just use the company trash. What else do we have? And then we have credit cards, and I'll explain those in just a few minutes. But yes, stage 4 cancer will totally make you rethink all of your finances.
We started my cancer treatment. They told me that I could draw my disability. With it being a stage 4 cancer, we're moving the dogs out into the chicken house, in the chicken yard. They're kind of outgrowing the box here. Yeah. They told me that I decided I couldn't work and talk at the same time because I get focused on one thing. They told me that I had stage 4, and with me having stage 4, I should be able to start drawing my Social Security, Social Security. And we went down and we filed, and within, what was it, Sherry? Like 3 to 6 weeks?
They told us it would take less than a month, and it took about 6 to 8 weeks.
6 weeks. I had my first check for my disability and disability Social Security, which was good because I was on short-term disability from work at the time, and about the time the 6 weeks hit, they told me I was out of my short-term disability because it was only 6 weeks. And about the time my short-term, actually it was the exact week, wasn't it? They were wondering if...
No, you can legally draw short-term until it's gone.
Well, I had 6 weeks of short-term.
No, you had more than 6 weeks, honey.
Did I?
You got both of them together for about 6 weeks.
I got both of them together for about 6 weeks?
Yeah, but your short term was going to end like in a month and a half. Or we had like 8 weeks, and that's why they told us to get on it right away. We had about 8 weeks left. No, we had about 12 weeks left, maybe. I don't remember. But anyways, by the time you got your first check for that, you only got a few more short-term checks with
I was thinking I only got one.
But you cannot draw long-term with disability.
They don't like the stuff.
I know. I just had nothing else to give them yesterday.
I know, because I'm
going to throw this out here to the big chickens.
Bought the wrong one. Anyhow, with my
So then he gets to draw his disability. Well, come to find out, if you get a disability at any age, you get to draw as long as you've got all your quarters in. I think it's 40 quarters. Then you get to draw your full Social Security as if you're 67. So that played into a good thing for us because Rusty has always made decent money. So his Social Security disability isn't, of course, it's never enough. I think it maxes out at $3,800, and he's not maxed out, but he gets a fair amount of disability and enough for us to live on, obviously. And so we're very, very thankful for that, and we're thankful that we don't have to apply for a disability right now because there's hardly no workers anymore. So, but yeah, so Rusty gets his full, and then at the age of 67, they'll just automatically flip it over from disability to retirement as if he retired at 67. Also, he didn't get to start his Medicare. He didn't get to start his Medicare for 2 years though because he wasn't 65 yet. He was 59 or 60 when he started his disability. So he had to be on disability for a full 2 years before he could get Medicare. So he's getting his Medicare now starting July 1st. So we're excited about that too. So, yeah. Okay, so that's kind of how disability works. We didn't know anything about disability when we started this process, so we've had to, and the doctors told us how to do it. They were so good. Cancer doctors know all about disability. They helped us with that. When we went to the Social Security office, nicest people in the world. They are so sweet, very understanding, and they really, at the time, Rusty, had stage 4 cancer when we went in there, obviously. And they really walk around you, or they treat you with a white glove treatment. They really do. They feel bad. They know, honestly, like she said, she said it in a nice way, but basically, these are people that may not live 3 more months, 6 more months. We just don't know. And so they were very, very compassionate about that at the Social Security office. I just dropped my gloves, but my hands are sweaty.
I don't remember a whole lot of that Social Security office.
Rusty, when you're going through treatments,
on the taco sauce.
Yeah, when you're going through treatments like he was having to go through, he did 8 chemo treatments and he did 35 radiation. He doesn't remember a lot of this stuff. Most of that fell on me to take care of, which I did. But I had to take him with me to the Social Security office for him to even talk to me about his disability. So he was with me. He just doesn't remember it. Okay, I'm sweating. We gotta go pick our garden real quick. And I got them fed. Did you put 2 feeders in there for them? They have to have 2 feeders now. 1 is not enough. 2 feeders. Let me get the rest. Yeah, I got all that. Okay, so how are we surviving? I'm out of breath. We just did the chores. I picked a little bit out of the garden too, guys, for tonight's dinner. So how are we surviving on what little bit Rusty is bringing in and what little bit I make? I do work part-time, but it's very, very, very minimal part-time. So I don't make a lot. But the way we're doing it is that our house is completely paid off, which, to be honest, Rusty was going to take retirement at 65. So we already had it where our big house would be completely paid off, and all the extra land we bought over the years, everything was going to be paid off before he turned 65. And to be honest, at the time that we sold our big house, I think we owed $13,000 more on land, property, house, everything totaled. It was like $13,000, so it wasn't very much. And so when we sold the house, the sale of the house finished paying the loans off, and then gave us enough to build this house. And I think we built this house for about $88,000, something like that. So, so we don't have a house payment to make that. Here in Oklahoma, our electric bill's been running us less, but between $120 and $200 a month, depending on if we're using AC and all that. Then of course we have cell phones and internet bill, and a few of our subscriptions to different things. And then our truck, we paid cash for that, so we wouldn't have that payment. And so really, to be honest, we just don't have a lot of payments. And I already had a financial plan years ago, so that when he turned 65, everything would be paid off and we'd have enough in our savings to buy a truck, which we did, but we also had to pay a crap ton of medical bills. And for me to stay at hospitals and stuff, because I had to feed myself, at those. So it got pricey. And we did have a few people that donated money, which was really, really nice. So we still have money in savings, but not very much, not compared to what we're used to having anyways. But with everything being paid off and just a few little bills a month, we're really not doing that bad. Rusty also has a pension. We moved his pension over to Edward Jones, and we're going to attempt not to touch it until we have to when he turns 70. Rusty just turned 62. I will be 60 this year in November, so I have a little bit to be 60. And I'm planning on not drawing my Social Security until I'm 67 if we can survive without it. If we can't, then I will. But if we can survive without it, I'm not going to draw mine until I'm 67. And yeah, so where all that's concerned, but we are saving money in other areas. I'm going to sit here at my cutting board and I'm going to get these green beans ready for tonight. I'm so excited. We've got green beans out of the garden. We have fresh lettuce. We have tomatoes. So it sounds like, and I'm making some Chick-fil-A type chicken nuggets. I love that recipe. And that reminds me, that's another way we save money, guys, is if there's something we really, really love, which he and I both love Chick-fil-A chicken, then I go online, I find the recipe. So even if we don't, because let's face it, Chick-fil-A, you almost have to get a small home loan to buy Chick-fil-A. But not to knock the Chick-fil-A people, because, y'all are great. But we just can't afford it all the time. So one of the things I do is I'll find recipes online and I'll do the copycat recipes. And this Chick-fil-A copycat, just put in copycat, my glasses keep falling. Just put in copycat Chick-fil-A recipe, and it sounds crazy. You actually have to you soak it, you marinate it, and that's what I'm doing right now. That's what you saw me earlier. I was getting my chicken ready to marinate, because you marinate it in pickle juice and milk, and y'all, it is so good. And then as far as the breading goes, I just kind of still do my own breading. Okay, so we've talked about where our money comes from. Now, how are we making extra money? It's not extra money, but it's how we save money. Some of the things we do, for instance, we're a member of Walmart. Rusty's disabled, so we get that for $6.99 a month. We get free Paramount TV with it. We get free shipping with Walmart, and we get a free Burger King hamburger, I think, every 30 days, 90 days, something like that. Is it? Yeah, I don't remember. Rusty's right here, guys. He's making some banana pudding for our game night tonight. That's another thing we do to entertain ourselves. We have an adult game night that we do once a week. 1 week it'll be at our house. The next week it'll be over at Rusty's sister's house. And this is our week, so.
That's our date night.
That's our date night. Yes, our date night. So, we do that. We have every fast food app there is, because you guys go get those fast food apps. Those fast food apps are so awesome, because you get free burgers, free fries, free all kinds of stuff all the time, and it changes weekly. So when we do make our trip once every week or a couple of weeks over to our big city, which is Shawnee, we are we're using those apps. And Rusty and I are eating lunch almost every day. Every time we go over there, we eat lunch between $7 and $10, which, you know, that these days that's really cheap. So get those apps. Another thing I do is I put a lot of our purchases on our MasterCard, Visa cards, whatever, I'm not even sure what they are, Capital One card. We put a lot of our purchases on that because I get 3% cash back. And by the end of the month doing that, we have sometimes $30, $40 on there. Well, that might be a couple of months. But anyways, that money is not much, but every now and then it pays for things that we want, but we're like, well, we probably shouldn't spend the money on it. And if I look and I've got that much cash back, it's like, okay, let's spend the money. We have it, you know. So that's another way we save money. Bread got up to, the kind of bread we like, got up to $5 a loaf. So I make bread now. I'm not buying it anymore. Saved us a little bit of money doing that. Rusty, how else are we saving money? Rusty saves us a ton of money. Rusty, talk about that. How you're saving us money by disassembling wood items and taking them apart and reusing the wood.
I reclaim a lot of building materials. I take, like, we've got an old store building over at our old house, and my boy was wanting it gutted out. We had walls and stuff in it, and I went in and gutted all the walls out of it, and got a bunch of lumber out of that. That's what I've been building a lot of my brooder pens and just one thing or another.
Okay, so let me get this over here together. All right, I think we're going to close this video out right here, so I'll be able to post this tomorrow. We're getting ready to play some hand and foot and eat some homemade Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets. I think I already told you guys that's another way I save money is by copycatting recipes that we like. Homemade French fries, green beans out of the garden, and Rusty's making a banana pudding. Doesn't that sound yummy? Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you would. It's free for you, and it means a whole lot to us. And thank you to everyone who already has done those things for us. All right, guys, y'all have a good one, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.